Last Stand is a turn-based card game between two players using self-constructed or pre-made decks of 20 cards alongside a chosen commander card. Players use their limited influence to play strategies or summon minions to achieve their commander's unique goal. This tutorial video will go over the basics of gameplay so that you can get started playing ASAP. Players first decide who will be playing for which faction, Guardian or Inter-Rebellion. Players must play for opposing factions. After selecting their faction, each player must select a region to play for within their faction. In the starter set for Last Stand, there are 2 available regions, one for each faction. The Guardian player will play for Dale, while the Inter-Rebellion player will play for Valera. To set up each player's decks, start by setting aside your commander card and necessary influence boards. Valera will only need 1 influence board, while Dale will need 2. Next, look through your cards for any token cards, placing them to the side. Finally, shuffle each deck and place it to the side in a face-down pile. Each player gets 2 dice to use throughout the game. To start, both players roll 2 dice to decide who will go first. The player going first draws 3 cards to start, while the other player draws 4. Optionally, players can take 1 mulligan before play. A mulligan allows a player to shuffle any number of cards in their hand back into their deck, then redrawing to replace. Players alternate turns until play ends. At the start of a player's turn, 3 things must occur in the following order. First, refresh all influence. Then, gain 1 influence until you can't place any more on your board. And last, draw 1 card off the top of your deck. All cards cost influence to play, as shown by the number in the blue gem in the top center of a card. For example, this card costs 2 influence to play. You can't play a card that costs more influence than you currently have. Additionally, any unused influence is put to waste and does not carry over to the following turn. You start the game at 0 influence. At the start of each turn, you gain 1 influence, up to the maximum available on your influence board. Whenever you spend influence, remove that much from your influence board to keep track of how much you have left. You can only have up to 8 cards in your hand at a time. If you have 8 cards in your hand and try to draw another card, that new card immediately gets discarded. There are 3 main types of cards: minions, strategies, and commanders. You can only play cards on your turn. All minions have an attack. The strength of a minion's attack is represented by the number on the top left of the card. Minions also have a defense, which is the number in the top right. When you play a minion, place it face up anywhere on the battlefield. You can only control up to 5 minions at a time. When a minion loses all of its defense, it is placed in that player's graveyard, a face-down discard pile. Strategies may have an influence cost, but they do not have an attack nor a defense. Instead, simply put, strategies do something when played. After a strategy is played, place it in your archive, a separate discard pile. Each player is represented by a commander card from their region's army. Every commander has a unique goal. In order to win the game, you must complete your goal. Every commander has 5 life. Several commanders will claim victory by reducing this life total to 0. Finally, let's talk about challenges. The turn a minion is summoned, it must wait 1 turn before it can challenge. Otherwise, each of your minions may challenge once per turn. If you wish to initiate a challenge, first, choose which friendly minion you want to challenge with. Next, choose the enemy minion you want to challenge. Whoever controls the minion with a higher attack rolls 2 dice, while the owner of the minion with less rolls only 1. If the attack values are the exact same, both players roll 1 die. Whoever wins the roll wins the challenge, striking the opposing player's minion, reducing their defense by 1. If a tie occurs, nothing happens. Either way, once the challenge is over, the minion that initiated the challenge cannot challenge again this turn. Your minions can also challenge the opposing commander if your opponent does not control any minions on their side of the battlefield, rendering them vulnerable. When your minion challenges the enemy commander, you'll always roll 2 dice, while your opponent always rolls 1. If you win, you reduce your opponent's life total by 1. If you lose or tie, nothing happens. Note that a minion with 0 attack does not have the strength to challenge, nor can it prevent challenges against your commander. Additionally, it will automatically lose any challenges initiated against it. Congratulations, you are now ready to play Last Stand. Refer to the complete guide for additional information on mechanics such as keywords.